Hello and welcome to the Real Positive Girl podcast. My name is Sabrina. Thank you so much for listening, downloading, sharing the show. I truly appreciate it. I just love how people are continuing to love and enjoy the show. And if you do love and enjoy the show, and if you are able to leave a 5-star review or to just leave some sort of uplifting comment or interesting description of the show from your point of view on whatever podcast platform you listen to the show, I would greatly appreciate it. That would just help bring more people into listening to the show and give me the opportunity to help even more people. So if you were able to do that, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you wanted to come by and just chat with me and connect with me on Instagram, I am at Sabrina Joy Perozzo, or you're welcome to send me an email as well. All of that information is in the description box, along with all the notes for the show. But again, I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you downloading and sharing the show. So let's get right into the episode. Thanks so much, guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Real Positive Girl podcast with me, Sabrina. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I really appreciate you guys, and I hope that you've been enjoying it. With this week's topic, talking about my favorite daily affirmations. And today, specifically Thursday, we are going to be talking about I choose love and peace over negativity. But before we jump into the episode, I want to remind you of the 5-minute reset, which allows you to draw a line in the sand and allow yourself to restart, reboot, reset your day right then and there, especially if you're having a stressful day, a hard day, a tough day. You just kind of want to leave any sort of interactions, memories, or whatever behind you and just restart your day. Even if it's at the end of your day, you can still do it so you're not carrying over so much baggage and stress into the later parts of your day or even the next day. But with the 5-minute reset, you all you need is to have at least 5 minutes to yourself, and you can take the time to take a break from any issues or burdens that are dragging you down, or come up with any resolutions for any problems or issues that you're dealing with, either by yourself or with someone else. And I always recommend people to come up with a list of at least 4 things that you're grateful for, big, small, or medium size. You can literally be grateful for anything. You can be grateful for being able to take a nap. You can be grateful that you're keeping your plants alive. You can be grateful that you finally found some really new yummy recipes to make. Or you can just be grateful that you've been eating more vegetables and just more healthy foods in your diet because you're just trying to, make things a little bit healthier, a little bit more nutrient based as opposed to carbs and cookies. And I totally get that because I love cookies. I love cookies so much. But yeah, you can literally be grateful for anything. The list is a never ending. And then last but not least, before you end your 5-minute reset, make sure that you're feeling at least neutral, if not positive, about the rest of your day, because hopefully reflecting on the positives, the blessings in your life, and coming up with your gratitude list will help you to, have a more positive outlook than negative and not focus so hard on whatever issues or problems that you're currently dealing with in your life. And that'll help you get through those hard times as well. I'm not saying it to be positive 100% of the time at all. It's just more of more often than not, and understanding that focusing on the negative is not really going to change anything. And we're kind of going to talk about that today. So again, this week we are talking about my favorite daily affirmations. And today, Thursday, we are going to speak about the affirmation, I choose love and peace over negativity. So I'm going to be honest with you. Choosing love and peace over negativity isn't easy. It's one of the hardest things to do, especially in the moment, especially when things just seem so out of control and over the top. It can seem almost impossible. Like, how the heck are you supposed to actively choose in your mind when you have so many emotions flowing through you and so many reactions that you love to just play into and actually let happen? How the heck are you going to choose love and peace over negativity or any sort of negative action? But it is possible. It is. it just takes focus and determination. And I know that you're like, great, things that are not super easy in the heat of the moment. I get it. It's really tough when being negative is so much easier than choosing to focus on love and peace. It's so easy to just fall into negativity, to complain, to be angry, to be upset, to let those emotions flow out because it doesn't really take any restraint. It doesn't really take any thought because those ones just come out so much easier. And it's like with most negative emotions and feelings. Have you ever noticed that it's so much easier to complain about something than it is to really shed positive light on something? You know what I mean? And if you haven't noticed that, I encourage you to start noticing it in your life. And I don't mean that to be a bear or negative. And I'm not trying to tell you that you are living a negative lifestyle by any means, but it's good to be aware of how we are speaking, what we are manifesting with our words and our actions and our thoughts, and what we are believing and putting out there because it really matters. It really has a lot of bearing on what we believe, how our days are um, kind of pieced together by the things that we're believing, the things that we're saying out loud, the actions that we're going through with, and the emotions that we're deciding to like flow all the way through. Because, I always talk about how you definitely should appreciate and acknowledge all emotions that you're feeling, but it doesn't mean that you need to react with them or react like through them. It doesn't mean that you have to fully play those out. You can just acknowledge, yeah, I'm feeling angry right now. I'm feeling upset. I'm feeling really like betrayed. But it doesn't mean that you have to take any action to it. You could just like acknowledge it, understand that you have those feelings. But if you know that nothing positive or constructive or necessary is going to come from playing out through those emotions, then you just acknowledge it and then you move on. Or you can put a pin in it and come back to it later if you're not completely sure why you're having those emotions. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's so much easier just to dip into the negative rather than choosing positivity, choosing love, choosing peace. But I think that is why this affirmation is so great because it's a good reminder that we need to work on choosing love and peace instead. I honestly believe we do. And it may sound very generic, right? You're like, oh, what a generic affirmation that you chose, Sabrina. Yes, it is. It's very generic, but it's still very helpful. It's still very needed and necessary because it is. It's like a great baseline to our whole complete day. And even if we have a really tough day and we have multiple things that come up, just choosing love and peace over negativity, even a couple times out of all of those stressful, really hard times, will make a good difference on our mindset, on how we feel about our day in total, and then how we let our emotions flow. So, choosing to show others love, those that cause us pain or disappointment, discomfort, or even frustration, is usually the last thing you want to do when you are in the heat of the moment or when you feel like the other person is in the wrong. But it's the better choice to make. It really is. It's like being the bigger person. No one wants to be the bigger person because it's the tough job to do. It's the job where you have to really just suck it up, but not truly because, like I said, you're still acknowledging that you're having those feelings. You might put a pin in it to come back to it to explore those feelings more. Um, and, just because you're angry, it doesn't mean that you need to lash out, but it doesn't prevent you from actually sharing how you're feeling in a very like constructive and calm way to the other people that may be involved. Do you know what I mean? It's like you can have a reaction, but you need to choose the best reaction that will actually benefit you in the situation, not one that's just like surprise reaction that you're not sure exactly how that's going to go, or you already know that it's going to be negative. It's just really you just like projecting your anger and frustration and everything that's hot and red in your mind and in your heart just at that other person because it just got you all like flustered. No, you want to choose something that's actually going to help the situation get better. So I'm not saying that when you make the choice to bypass an emotion and not fully react to it, it doesn't mean that you can't react at all. It just means that you need to choose the best reaction in the moment. That is what I'm saying. But Nothing will be accomplished with anger or negativity. Nothing. You think about that making your point or showing your anger or just getting your way will make you feel better. Like a lot of times we think that those things will make us feel a whole lot better. But have you ever noticed how you still always feel crappy afterwards? It's not worth it. I always feel like even if I do get my rage and anger out, which I do, sometimes I just choose in the moment not to control it, and it's generally I always regret it because it just really gets me all tangled up, And I'm not perfect, right? None of us are perfect. So if you ever find yourself really trying to kind of pull back on your negative reactions to, especially when it includes like being with other people, but you find it really difficult to do and you're not always successful, don't worry, that's totally fine. And I'm not saying it's fine for that situation. I'm just saying it's fine as being a human being who's trying to better themselves, who's trying to become stronger in your mindset and in your actions. But we all make mistakes and we all still struggle to be our best selves and to make the right choices in the heat of moment, especially when you're all in your heightened emotions. It's so, so tough. And anyone that tells you that it's easy or that they've mastered it, they are definitely not telling you the truth because no one's really mastered it, right? You can definitely come to a point where you have it. So, like 9 times out of 10, maybe you react the way that you wanted to, that you would prefer, despite how you may be feeling inside. But there's going to be moments where you don't. There's going to be moments where you just lash out. There's going to be moments where you just let loose because it's just too much to bear. And that's natural and that's normal. And I want you to know that because I don't want you to feel like because, only half the time or even a third of the time you're able to choose or you're choosing to choose love and peace over negativity. And the other times you're choosing negativity because you're still trying to work yourself into it. That's fine. Don't worry about it. And don't let anyone else make you feel bad about that because they are just trying to project their feelings of projection and pleasing others onto you, and you don't need that. You don't need that negativity in your life. So, but it's not worth it. It's not worth it to really try to accomplish whatever you're feeling with anger or negativity because it never works out for you. And you're still going to feel the feelings of whatever emotion is bubbling up in you. I already mentioned that. Like, you don't want to just cancel it out. That's not what you should do. But it doesn't mean you need to act on those feelings or even play those up in your mind. And when I say play them up in your mind, I personally, and I know others do have this problem, but I personally have a problem where I will go on a tailspin of emotions and I'll be like, man, I am so angry. Oh, yeah, I'll give you an example. I'm like in the airport and we're like coming home, right, from vacation. And, we're sitting in the front of the plane. And so my husband goes out first because he's sitting in front of us. And then I let my daughter out first. And then I have my suitcase and we're already ready in the aisle to go, along with a bunch of other people behind us. But there's another gentleman that is in front of us. And my daughter tries to zoom by because he clearly is just sitting in his seat. He hasn't really got any of his luggage ready to go. So, you would assume, okay, the people that are ready to go, just let them go. And then I will hop out into the aisle and get ready. And I know generally it's like, okay, this row goes, you just wait for them. But he wasn't really ready at all. And she was literally standing in the aisle. So anyway, she kind of zooms by him. He acts like he's so bothered. He rolls his eyes. He just makes all this noise. And I'm like offended because I'm like, why would you be like that to my child when you weren't even ready to go? And what happened for me was that I was just holding those emotions, holding them in, and like thinking of them and thinking how upset I was and thinking about all the things that I would say to him if I actually was able to catch up with him because he was going really fast in the airport. But all these feelings continue to build, 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 build. And I'm thinking about these emotions so more and more and more and more and more. Where it's really this interaction that, yeah, I was really offended in the moment by the way that he was like, feeling so, you know, to me, a little overly dramatic by my daughter, just like kind of like not even hurting him, just really just, zooming by him really quick to get out of his way, honestly. But there's no need for me to continue to dwell on those emotions because it was just this thing that didn't really hurt anyone. It was just more of him, wanting to express his feelings out loud to everyone about how he felt about someone maybe quote unquote getting in his way so he could deplane. Anyway, but you see, a lot of times when I get hurt or someone does something and I'm like, why didn't you think about the consequences of hurting someone else? I will hold on to those emotions and go into this tornado in my mind where I continue to spin, spin, spin these feelings until they grow bigger and bigger, which is super unnecessary. But when I realized that I was doing this, because my husband's like, why are you walking so fast in the airport? I'm like, because I'm upset. I'm upset, but I want to get over these feelings. So I know they're irrational. And I feel like you will know that you've grown so much in understanding yourself and, more self awareness and growth when you can admit to yourself that feelings and emotions that you're having, reactions, are irrational. And it's a really big step because you understand that, yes, you probably shouldn't be that upset or feel that whatever for this situation, but you can identify that you are being irrational, but you're still working through it. And that's great. And if you're able to identify that, stop it in its tracks, kind of like turn the bus around and get it back into the right direction that you want it to be, you're growing so much. So don't forget that, because a lot of people feel like if they aren't perfect continuously, or if it's hard to see growth with mindset, but you're growing all the time, even when you don't see anything like that. But you're growing a lot while you're trying to learn, while you're trying to absorb different ways for you to switch your mindset and widen your perspective and just be stronger and become more self aware. Just know that you are growing, whether you can tell or not. You really are. So that was a little bit of a tangent, but you understand what I'm saying. You don't need to go on a tailspin about all your emotions. It's unnecessary. It kind of wastes a lot of your thinking time when you could have been putting that to something else. But I understand from a personal perspective how it can be really hard to get caught up in that. So, but yeah, so you don't have to, let those emotions play up in your mind. Choosing to let those feelings go and show love will become easier over time the more you practice it. That is true. Practice makes perfect, but not perfect, as we know. And the more that we try to choose love and choose peace, it will become easier. You just have to do it. And yeah, don't feel bad if you don't do it every single time, but the more you do it, the easier it'll be, and the more you will remind yourself to do it. And then it'll just be like second nature, a habit. And choosing to be peaceful when situations are going wrong is like one of the hardest things to do, but it can be a game changer if you practice it often enough, because it can kick in quicker and quicker each time. That's the benefit of that. That's the benefit of doing it more and more, because the more you do it, the quicker you'll react in that manner, the quicker you'll make that choice, and the better off that you'll be, right? In your mind. I believe so. So try this in the mirror today. I choose love and peace over negativity. I choose love and peace over negativity. I choose love and peace over negativity. And say it until you mean it, and do it regularly. Okay? I hope it works for you. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for listening. Come back tomorrow, Friday. We will end the week by talking about I deserve to be respected. That will be our last information that I want to share with you, which I think is a really good one and a big deal for a lot of people, especially me. But thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are amazing. I love it. Love talking to you. Love reaching out. Don't forget, you are welcome to check the description box for notes for the show, where to find me on Instagram. Come by and say hi. Get to know me, follow along on my regular life mom journey over there, where I do share a little bit of motivation, but it's more of my everyday life if you want to connect. Or you can send me an email with any questions, comments, concerns, prayer requests, feedback, topic suggestions, or just to say hey, hi, and hello to me. But until next time, have a good one, and thank you so much for listening. You guys are amazing. Bye.